Hello there, good evening. Welcome to Look North, our top story tonight. Researchers in Leeds call for parks to be made safer for women and girls.
I want to come here to skate and nothing else. I deserve to feel safe in this space, but it isn't that way.
We'll ask the Mayor of West Yorkshire what can be done about it. Also tonight, a heated council meeting has been taking place in Sheffield after a damning report into the tree felling programme. We'll be taking a look at this stunning new stretch of coastal path that's been named after King Charles. And they might be cute, but they need a lot of love. We'll find out what it's really like to adopt a Romanian rescue dog.
Well, it looks more like the Mediterranean, doesn't it? This was Scarborough at around about 9 o'clock this morning, but the showers kicked off. Some of them this afternoon have been heavy with thunder. Join me for that detailed forecast.
Hello there, thank you for joining us. Let's start with a question for all the women this evening. How safe do you feel when you're using a park? Well, the simple answer is not very. Research carried out by the University of Leeds found that most women and girls believe their parks to be very unsafe. And new guidelines have been unveiled at a conference in Leeds today to make parks and open spaces in the UK safer. These include encouraging more organised activities, as well as better lighting and visibility. Simple solutions, you might think, but why are the new guidelines necessary? Well, take a look at this. According to the Office for National Statistics, 16% of women in the UK say they feel very or fairly unsafe in a park or another open space during the day. But look at this figure now. 82% said that they felt very unsafe when it got dark. For men, that figure is about half of that, 42%. And worryingly, 71% of women in the UK have experienced sexual harassment in a public space. In a moment, we'll hear from the Mayor for West Yorkshire. But first, our social affairs correspondent, Emma Glasby, has been speaking to women in West Yorkshire.
Early evening in a Leeds park, and these girls show us how it's done. This is Woodhouse Moor, the heart of the student area. More and more female skateboarders are coming along, but safety's always on their minds.
People think about it a lot before they come. A lot of the girls in our society specifically don't like coming here, and they like going to the indoor parks that are a lot more protected and safer.
Do you come here in the winter on dark evenings, or do you just not?
No, you avoid it with a wide angle. I don't even walk through the park, let alone come and skate.
Katie tells me that a few years ago she was attacked by a group in this park.
I don't know, I still come here because I don't want to be like defeated by it. Do you know what I mean? Like this, I want to come here to skate and nothing else. I deserve to feel safe in this space, but it isn't that way.
Just down the road from here at the University of Leeds, a study has found 57% of women and girls questioned felt that parks are very unsafe. They've worked with the women to draw up guidelines on how to make parks safer, including more escape routes, better visibility and organised activities.
So actually, the area that they all agreed on that would make them feel safer is seeing other women in parks. So probably the single best thing that can be done is to make parks as appealing and as welcoming to women and girls as possible. The status quo is unacceptable. It's not an acceptable position for women to feel less safe, that these spaces are less accessible. It's not equal and it's not fair.
There are groups trying to change things. In Wakefield, this walking group meets every week. It's for everyone, but it's encouraged a lot more women to get out and enjoy the local parks and green spaces.
Do you think concerns about safety can prevent women using parks to exercise or to socialise?
Yeah, 100%, especially during the winter months. So we have running groups as well. And the majority of people coming to those are women. They tell us they don't feel safe, and it is that sense of being part of a group, but very much about feeling much safer.
For many of the women, it's a chance to soak up nature in places they might not normally go.
Definitely wouldn't come out on my own now. I think being with these, it's you feel much safer, yeah. And you know, it's just we're all together. It's nice, yeah.
I feel much more comfortable when I'm out with the group.
If I went out for a walk on my own, I would let people know that I was going out, what sort of time I was going to be back, and try and, if I was walking, I may just sort of walk more in the town centre rather than in the park, particularly if there weren't many people about.
But then you're missing out on the green space.
Yeah, and that's something I really enjoy, but you do feel you miss out sometimes as a woman on your own.
We know being in nature helps our physical and mental health, so it makes sense to get all of us using green spaces. But will there be enough change so women feel these are also safe spaces? Emma Glaspie, BBC Look North.
I'm sure lots of women watching can relate to what we've heard there. Tracy Brabin is the Mayor for West Yorkshire. I asked her what difference these guidelines are going to make.
Well, I don't think women have been in the room where these discussions have been taking place, and it doesn't feel like we've been thought about in the design. We are a bit of an afterthought. So now is the time we can redress that balance. When it comes to new parks, hopefully this research, we're cascading it across the country. Hopefully it will be taken up by others. But also the parks that we have, let's look at the maintenance of those parks. What interventions can we make to make them safer and more welcoming for women and girls?
Some of the women we spoke to in the skate park said they'd like to see more CCTV cameras, better lighting, more PCSOs on the street. Is there the funding for all that?
Well, it's not just about the safety element, but it's also the attraction for a girl to use a park. So as girls grow up, their world diminishes in a way, whereas boys' worlds open up, so they spend more time in their bedroom maybe than in a park. So what we want to do, as well as making it safe, is attractive. So some of the research shows that it's really important to get more people in the park. So events, community spaces, things that I can support and pay for, like exercise equipment or exercise classes in parks.
But what about things that they're talking about, lighting, cameras, more police presence?
Certainly PCSOs are part of my plan, safety of women and girls across West Yorkshire, with 15 coming on stream, new PCSOs on buses and in bus stations. And certainly when it comes to park staff, let's look at the rostering of park staff. Let's look at getting more women in park staff as well. There are really imaginative things we can do to make women feel safe. And we must find the money because it's really important.
I imagine some women will be watching, screaming at the screen, saying, surely men who are attacking women are the problem here. What's been done to address that, to stop this even happening in the first place, where women are in a position where they do feel unsafe?
Well, goodness me, I've really focused my attention on interventions to stop crime happening, to stop harassment, to stop catcalling. There's lots going on in that space, but this report is specifically around parks.
These are just recommendations, aren't they? You can't make them happen. So for local authorities that are strapped, is this going to be the bottom of the pile?
Well, I hope not, because it's all about political leadership and it's about prioritisation. And it's also, we're talking about poor mental health with young people. Well, this is a way to address one of those challenges, is to get young people outside. We heard in the symposium that I've just come from now, really brilliant projects of wildlife and crafting going on in parks that's attracting young women to take control of their parks.
And that was Tracy Brabin, the Mayor for West Yorkshire, talking to me earlier. Next tonight, a heated council meeting has been taking place in Sheffield in the aftermath of a damning report into the tree felling programme. Now, you may remember fierce protests broke out in the city when thousands of trees were cut down. An independent inquiry found that there'd been a failure of leadership and the authority had misled the public. Well, the council has apologised. Mark Ansell's live at the town hall in Sheffield tonight. Mark, there was such upset and anger at the time. What's happened in the meeting today?
Well, it's described as an extraordinary council meeting, and believe me, Amy, it was extraordinary. This council chamber was packed out with council members, and also in the public gallery it was full of protesters, some of whom were shouting as passionately as they were at the days when they were on the streets campaigning against the felling of the trees. Now, this meeting follows the independent inquiry into the council's handling of the street felling programme, which found its actions amounted to a serious and sustained failure of strategic leadership and said it had been dishonest. Now, the author of that report, Sir Mark Lowcock, joined the meeting via a video link, and he said that the report made clear the council got a lot of things wrong. Remember that it was street trees, that some of them healthy, that were cut down and replaced with saplings in a £2.2 billion programme. And this street improvement project, which sparked outrage on the streets of Sheffield, the council even tried to send protesters, including one of its elected members, to prison. I've been getting a reaction from one of the campaigners, Rebecca Hammond.
From my dealings with the Chief Executive, Kate Josephs, I think she's very determined that the council is going to change, the way it works is going to change. It won't be an easy task, it's a bigger organisation, there's a lot to change and a lot of people to take along with her. I'm still equivocal about the councillors. It really depends who ends up in sort of senior positions.
Mark, there's been a real fallout, hasn't there, from this independent report into the tree felling programme?
Absolutely, Amy. One person who was conspicuous by his absence was the former council leader, Terry Fox, who was ousted as leader of Sheffield City Council last Friday, just before the election results came through. And that was done by the National Labour Party, which is going to be involved in choosing his successor. There was nobody behind me on the top table here from the Labour Party. The only voice from Labour we heard was the Lord Mayor Richards, who pulled out of an interview with us and other media. No one from the council was available for interview. She gave a full apology in the meeting, acknowledging a sustained failure of leadership. She said, "I'm sorry that we got things so wrong." Now, the author of the report says it's time for reconciliation. Whether this meeting and any reconciliation can appease protesters, we'll have to wait and see.
Mark, thank you. You're watching Wednesday's Look North, still to come on tonight's programme. We'll be with the Sheffield school kids using darts to help with their maths. But before that, let's bring some more stories coming to our newsroom this evening. A 17-year-old boy has been arrested following a stabbing in Leeds on Monday. Another 17-year-old was attacked just before 8 p.m. in Moortown at a junction between Street Lane and Allerton Place. They were taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect remains in custody while investigations continue. Sheffield Council have revealed they've received £175,000 in the first month of their clean air zone. The scheme covers the inner ring road and city centre. Vehicles that travel in this area that don't meet petrol or diesel standards are required to pay upwards of £10 per 24 hours. From February to March, the council says 7,000 fines were issued. Yorkshire Waters say reservoir levels have recovered from last year's drought. A 3-month hosepipe ban was imposed last August following baking temperatures and low rainfall. While reservoirs have now dropped 50%, but they're now back to 95%, making another ban much less likely. Now, a stunning new stretch of coastal path has opened in East Yorkshire, spanning 21 miles. It forms part of a national trail around the whole of the English coast to celebrate the coronation of the King. The route goes from Bridlington to Filey Brig. Our reporter Paul Murphy has the story.
So here it is, the all-important post in the ground here at Filey Brig, the completion of the North Yorkshire coastal path and the beginning of the coastal path running down into East Yorkshire, through Filey, on through Sewerby, Bempton and on to Bridlington. And of course this is all about opening up more of the coast, more of nature to more people in this beautiful part of England.
We recognise that everybody benefits from nature, but not everybody finds it as easy as some people to access nature. And so having a national trail which we can promote really actively with local partners gives everybody that sense there's something here that they can come and enjoy and come and get the benefits that nature provides, whether it's health for walking, mental health through absorbing what's around us.
So it's a full 21 miles up from Bridlington through the Bempton bird colonies here to Filey Brig. But if you're feeling really ambitious, you can go a further 200 miles north to Bamborough. And this entire project is really about connecting communities but also boosting local economies.
It brings a lot of opportunity for local businesses and other local industries to help promote to local individuals and to visitors coming from anywhere what kind of the area has to offer, both kind of where we are in Filey and all of the other towns and villages in the area, as well as obviously stretching into East Riding.
So in total, the newly named King Charles III England coastal path will be 2,700 miles long. It's not all complete yet. The ambition is to have it all done by 2024. Though on a day like today, you have to say that very few places will come close to matching the stunning beauty of the North Yorkshire, East Yorkshire coast.
It looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Now there are just 4 days to go until the Barrow Leeds Marathon. 12,000 participants will be taking on a new route, starting and finishing at Headingley Stadium, with a fair few hills in between. I'm dreading it. It's named after the rugby league legend Rob Barrow, who developed MND in 2019. We're joined by two people who are taking part for reasons close to their heart. Naomi Unsworth is an MND nurse from Leeds, and Emma Smith sadly lost her mum to the disease 10 years ago. Ladies, how are you feeling about it?
Nervous.
Yeah, do you feel ready?
Yeah, I'm getting there. I think training's taken quite a lot of our time, and yeah, it's been a long time in the making. Sorry, so yeah, excited and nervous.
You're an MND nurse, aren't you, Naomi?
Yeah.
Are your patients your inspiration for this?
Yeah, so I think seeing the challenges that my patients kind of face every single day in their day-to-day life after the diagnosis with MND kind of inspired me to take on a challenge of my own. So it's a bit of a professional and a personal challenge. And yeah, I think what bigger challenge than a marathon?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of this is about building a new MND centre in Leeds. How much is it needed?
It's really needed. I think the team do a fantastic job of supporting our patients and looking after them kind of day to day, but the clinic is just not a suitable environment for delivering the kind of news that we have to deliver. And for patients to receive a diagnosis in an environment that's just not suitable, it's not good enough. And I think we've recognised that, and we're working really hard, as with the rest of Leeds are, to kind of raise that money and get that centre built.
And as we were saying earlier, MND patients seem to be getting a lot younger, don't they? Rob's in his mid-30s. Your mum was only 49, wasn't she, Emma, when she passed away?
Yeah, she was only 49.
Yeah, tell us about Karen.
Yeah, so she was a bit of a life of the party. She always liked to be, but always liked to be behind the camera rather than taking a bit in the photos. And we just had kind of a lot of family time together and a really big kind of connected family.
The decline was really rapid for your mum, wasn't it? Only 5 months.
Yeah.
What would have helped your mum at the time? Because obviously a lot has changed in 10 years.
It took a long time to get support and a long time to get a diagnosis, and a long time to get materials and kind of equipment that we needed around the house. And I think just kind of there's not that expectation of how quickly you can kind of deteriorate and how much you need that support.
This has really pulled the MND community together, hasn't it? The profile in which Rob has given the disease. What's the feeling amongst the MND community that you're dealing with?
I think it's excitement. I think everyone feels a real buzz about the marathon, it being in Rob's home city. I think people really feel that, you know, this is a way that we can fundraise and bring everyone together. It's really brought MND into the spotlight as well. So I think, you know, people don't have to explain as much about what is MND anymore. People understand the severity of how that's impacting their day-to-day lives, and people want to support each other. And start to look after each other a little bit, which is great.
Well, good luck, girls. I'll see you on the start line.
Thank you, and to you.
Thank you. Now, if you're struggling with simple maths, have you ever thought of taking up darts? Sounds bizarre, doesn't it? Some of the biggest names in the dart world are also good at mental maths, did you know? Tomorrow they'll be back at Sheffield Arena for Premier League darts, and today one of them dropped into a school in the city to give the students an unusual lesson in maths. Paul Ogden went along for some tips too.
27. What do you think of maths at school?
Fine, but it's hard.
It can be a bit boring sometimes. It's not too bad. I find it quite interesting sometimes, but sometimes I find it quite boring.
OK, so look at your dartboards, you've got singles.
An inventive, new way to learn maths and discover the subtle skills of darts at the same time.
Excellent maths, excellent darts.
The day before Premier League darts is staged in Sheffield, local students at Don Valley's Oasis Academy got a visit from Dimitri van den Berg. Belgian star of the sport, with plenty more about him than just that.
From a young age, I started to learn how to count down, and it was at some point just easy for me. I've always been very proud. I've been one of the quickest in my school when it came to doing the mathematics in your mind. I think it's a brilliant project, and I completely back it up. I am totally impressed. That's one thing for sure.
When we were doing it, I was a bit confused, but then after a little while, I got used to it, and it was actually really fun. I have to think, and that you're gonna have to be precise and aim it at the target. 16, 18.
Accuracy is everything in arithmetic and darts, and today's Bullseye Maths project certainly hit the spot.
Let's just say that I recommend everybody who's young to chase their dreams to the full extent they could. And if their dream is to be a professional dart player, get their face on a stage, on the big screen, in front of TV, family and friends can see you all over the world. If that's what your dream is, chase it.
I would love to play more darts in the future. I find it quite fun to play with your friends, and I think it's nice playing with other people.
Do you think you would like to play darts in future?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm not good at it.
Well, some new fans for darts and definitely keener students for maths. In Sheffield, there's a word for all that. Paul Ogden, BBC Look North.
Well, some naturals there to look out for the future. We're a nation of dog lovers, aren't we? Look at these gorgeous pictures. But sometimes rescuing the animals that nobody else wants can be more of a challenge than you realise. 18 months ago, our very own husband and wife team, Amanda Harper and Jamie Coulson, adopted Penny. There she is. She's a Romanian rescue dog who'd been brought to the UK by a Yorkshire charity. She arrived traumatised and scared of everything. But with time and with patience, she is slowly learning how to enjoy life. Here's Penny's story so far.
Come on.
When we first got Penny, she was really scared. And the only way to get her out was to bribe her with things like her favourite toy and some treats.
Ooh, good girl. This is Penny from Romania. We adopted her just over a year ago. As you can see, she's still very nervous, but she's making great progress. And we love you very much, don't we? Yes, we do.
We knew there'd be challenges ahead, but we were quite naive about the extent of her trauma.
It made me quite sad because I didn't know that all dogs were like this and that Penny was a bit special.
And she was frightened of everything, including the dark.
It's a bit wet and woody, isn't it?
Even the grandparents couldn't quite work their magic.
Damn.
Penny is now slowly learning to trust us, and we have invested lots and lots of time in training.
Just relax them arms if you can. If she's pulling, just stop, bring her back then.
Richard Edge is a dog behaviourist and has worked with Penny from the very beginning. He's helped many rescue dogs to adjust to their new homes.
We find that a lot of the dogs are a little bit more cautious, as you found with Penny, a little bit more standoffish with human interaction. Even just getting the dog just to eat properly, regular, just to get the dog outside to just toilet and go for a wee, just being that different environment can take months, which is, as you know, that's what it takes sometimes. But the patience is the number one key.
The patience is paying off, and it's fair to say she's come a long way.
I never knew that a dog could do such and wonderful things. I really love her because she gives us the best cuddles and she's really soft.
She's almost a dog that you wouldn't recognise from when you first got her, and that's what the joy is to it. It's one of my favourite cases.
And here's to many more adventures. Amanda Harper, BBC Look North.
Oh, hasn't she slotted lovely into the family? She looks like she's got a lovely life, doesn't she, with Amanda and Jamie, does Penny. And of course, you'll know about a rescue dog, won't you, or adopting a dog?
Well, yeah, I mean, I regularly see the dog in Roundhay Park, but I mean, Dave wasn't really a rescue. We adopted him as an ex-racer, but yeah.
But they need a lot of attention still, don't they?
Brings a lot of, well, Dave doesn't. He spends half his time sleeping on his back with his legs in the air.
Oh,
but
sounds like his owner.
That's a greyhound for you. Anyway, weather-wise, this was the scene in Scarborough this morning. Looks a bit Mediterranean, doesn't it? But these two pictures tell the right story. A lot of instability, temperatures rise, and this was what we saw down the road in Malton at around about 1 o'clock this afternoon. That's a cumulonimbus cloud, and if you can just see there in the background some very heavy rain, and that's been the way of it for this afternoon. If you've got any pictures, send them to me. Addresses are there on your screen. Twitter, Instagram and the Weather Watcher website, and it's a repeat performance tomorrow because we're going to see sunny spells and scattered showers through the course of tomorrow. Again, some will be heavy with the risk of thunder. Very hit and miss. Western areas have not really seen too many, but I think your turn may come through tomorrow afternoon as those showers clear away from eastern areas. So it's a similar looking setup. Low pressure in charge. This low pressure is going to sink into the continent. The main thing is high pressure just builds across the country, but the isobars are coming in from the North Sea. That's going to drag a lot of low cloud in across our part of the world on Friday. Saturday, a slow improvement, low cloud only slowly breaking up. Sunday, still some uncertainty, but it looks like it should be fine at first with some sunshine for the start of the marathon in Leeds. There is a risk of some rain, but probably not until later in the day. Now, you can see the shower clouds very clearly on the satellite picture. We've still got some heavy ones out there at the moment. So a bright evening with sunshine and scattered locally heavy showers. I think we'll keep a lot of cloud tonight, especially in the west, still 1 or 2 showers, even by the end of the night, with temperatures coming in at around about 6 or 7 degrees. Tomorrow's high water times then in Scarborough, 8:54, Bridlington at 7 minutes past 9. So quite a bit of cloud at first. As you can see, the clouds will break up. Look at these showers. The greens indicate heavy ones, the risk of thunder across much of our region. That is the forecast.
Still wearing their mucky shoes.
I've given them a polish, actually.
You absolutely have not. They need some paint on them. That's it from us. Good night.